Yo, what's going on? This is the Highly Advised Podcast. This is RelaxingNoG_Jackson, and we are back in the year 2022, and we have guests. Could you please introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Jessie Peralta.
Hi, Kenya Clark.
Hi, I'm Chrissy.
Okay, nice to be with y'all today.
Yeah, definitely. So it's great to have you all on here. I know it was like New Year's Eve just passed, actually. So I was wondering how has all your New Year's Eve been so far? Well, how was the New Year's for you guys?
Mine was pretty good. I spent it with family.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, did any
I
of y'all?
spent mine quarantining because I was exposed to the vid.
That's no fun.
No, not at all. No champagne for me.
What about you, Chrissy?
I brought in the new year with my daughter and her best friend.
Okay.
And
Nice.
then we drove to New York and I partied all night and all morning with my brothers and my cousins.
It's a nice way to bring it in, though.
Yeah, New Year's is not the same with the COVID and the Omarion and the Delta and the Mu. It's just like you play hopscotch at this point, trying to die.
It's hit or miss, yeah.
It's been a
That's a
little
fact.
weird. I know they were closing down a lot of stuff, and actually, my car ended up breaking down on New Year's Eve.
Word?
I hope that's not like no premonition or something about 2022.
Right.
Now, I have a feeling 2022 is going to be a great year. It just started off kind of shitty. That's all. You know? It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Speaking in existence.
That's the beauty of a new year, man. You'll bounce. It'll be like a small thing by the time, like 6 months from now.
Exactly.
Right.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even know that, though.
I ain't tell you about it yet, but
Yeah, you got to tell me that story after the show, man.
yeah, now we'll get into it. But otherwise, we brought y'all here to talk about a show. But before we get into that, we were wondering, like, outside of the show, what are some things, like some hobbies, activities that y'all are into, like in your, I guess, everyday life?
Well, for me, outside of the show, which has taken up a lot of our time, I think we can all agree. I do some modeling work. I compete in beauty pageants, some influencer work for the gram, which just basically means I get a bunch of free stuff and I got to take pictures wearing it, promoting it. And I work in fashion. I'm a production coordinator for an accessories company. And yeah.
Yeah, and as far as like I have a YouTube show, Kicking It with Kenya, that I work on, and that is my baby. We're actually trying to expand to different things. We're doing reviews now for shows. We're going to end up doing more movie content. Speaking of, I was also in a short horror film on our YouTube channel, which is louisptv.com. It's called The Deranged, and I play a girl named Amber. Y'all could get a little dose of Amber. Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to step into that entertainment life. I know I'm new to it. So, trying to do little small acting gigs, trying to get into modeling, doing my best with my reels and all of that stuff. And I'm also in education. So that's the career side of things that pay the bills.
Nice.
And I am a single mom. So that takes up a lot of my time. I was just in Method Man's video about like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
It hasn't come
nice.
out yet.
Yes.
And I'm supposed to be in a movie in June
Nice.
about
Way to keep
playing
secrets.
about playing basketball, which is something that I did for like 11 years or more. So it's supposed to be a basketball movie. So stay tuned.
That's what's up. That sounds like y'all got some
Chrissy's
stuff going
mad
on.
good in basketball.
Yeah,
Like a
but
jump
yes.
shot?
Yeah, I'm a shooter.
What
Okay.
position did you play?
Shooting guard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We got a Steph
Yeah.
Curry on the show, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got a bunch of superstars in the making right
Who
here.
would have
man.
thought?
Who would have thunk it, right? So like with the like hearing like some of your hobbies and everything, right? So I know like there's all outside of the hobbies, there's also like the show that you all are recording, She's Single New York. For like the listeners who aren't familiar with it, like could you give them like an idea of what the show's about?
I actually just recently talked about this on another podcast I was on. I don't know if the girls would agree, but I feel like we kind of give like younger versions of Real Housewives.
Mm.
It's like Real Housewives and like Sex and the City kind of mingled in there. A little
Okay.
splash of
Oh, shit.
Girlfriends. It's like a youthful, because we're all young and we're all trying to start our careers. It's not before with other reality shows, like even if they're not famous, they have careers and they kind of have a little bit of money or prestige. And it just seems like we're all at the bottom, like not bottom, but we're beginning stages. And I think that's just something that kind of like was the driving force with Sex and the City. These women trying to find their ways in love, career, navigation. So I think that's my perspective of the show. I don't know what they think.
I would agree.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. I
I would
think
definitely agree.
what people I think find it a little bit confusing. It's not a dating show, so the show isn't like linking us or like matching us with people to date. So it's more of a reality show. I call it like a day in the life type of thing. So the show literally would follow us on daily activities or events or things that we normally do. And then, it did highlight, dating, troubles, problems would have, girl drama, whatever. You put 5 women in a room and a camera, stuff is going to happen. So I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Nah, that's pretty dope though.
So,
So like, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, Kenya, I know like before we had started recording that, whatever, we kind of were getting into seeing people like rising up from the bottom and reaching a certain peak and in their career and whatnot. Would you say this is like a good way to see as to where y'all are starting off essentially?
I think absolutely. I think 100% because, like for instance, I live in Brooklyn and my apartment is not no penthouse, but every time you see reality TV shows, it's either people who live already in baby mansions
Mhm.
or in stylish apartments, and oh, they did this. Some of them secretly took out loans to look like that. I was never going to do that for this show.
Good.
I was going to be my real authentic self. I was living on Flatbush. I was on Flatbush. And the things that I was doing is literally something the average person is doing at my age. My makeup, I don't have no big vanity room. I was doing my makeup on the floor in one of them episodes because I like being grounded. That's just how I do my thing, And I was furnishing my apartment at the time. So you saw one couch, you saw a carpet. I feel like, yes, it's literally from the bottom. And even filming my show, you saw one camera person. And we see each other trying to make it. Janelle, who's not here right now, does background work in some TV shows. You see that storyline. Ami was trying to figure out her way. Some people don't know their career paths. That was the storyline. I think this really shows something that is not shown on reality TV, which is the bottom. And if we one day end up in a penthouse, you literally saw it from the beginning, not just us in there already and lying.
But it's pretty cool because Ami is actually like into computer science and into textiles, which is something that like you don't see a lot of women and women of color doing. So I thought her storyline was like pretty dope.
Yeah,
as well.
That's kind of crazy because in the IT field, like it can actually, because it's so male dominated, like it's weird trying to navigate through that and having to deal with just the higher ups. It can be a lot of dudes. It can be actually, I've seen it in person. It's crazy.
Yeah, like just being in that whole space in itself is just it can be a lot for a lot of people of color, let alone just when you're going with the storyline of a woman itself.
Yep.
So like it's interesting. So to me, from what it sounds like, it's people are going to have a chance to actually see and follow the step by steps as you go through your journey through New York. And like you said, because initially I think when you hear She's Single, you think it's automatically a dating show. But like hearing this, it makes it sound like it's like we're literally going to get a chance to be on your journey then.
Yep.
So like, so even like with everybody having a chance to be on your journey, and even like I said, initially I thought it was a show for relationships. When you all broke the news to your family, right? What was their reaction? Because we all know how the world perceives reality TV to some extent.
Yeah, I think my family was kind of like, I've done other like projects before, so they kind of just like rolled their eyes. Okay, another show, here we go. But I think when I explained it to them, they were like, okay, like this is something cool. And then now that the clips are like coming out and I'm showing people previews and things like that, they like it. I mean, the feedback I received is positive so far. It's funny, it's witty, clever, a lot of sass and shade. So I think it's something that the viewers will enjoy for sure.
Yeah, my family is a reality TV house. So
Oh, nice.
especially my mother, like when I told her that I was doing this, she was all like, where do I sign? What can I do? How can I be a part of this? You know, she's a real team player. She just really wants me to live my life the best I could live it. And we had to have some conversations because there was a lot of things with my family's past that they were a little concerned about. Like my brothers was very hesitant. They was really not trying to be part of it at all. But my mom had to have a real come to Jesus conversation with my family. Like, I'm not about to have my daughter excluded at events if a camera has to come. Y'all got to get with it and get in whatever past that we have to reconcile that. And it is what it is. We all came from it. We grew from it. We could talk about it and show that once again, the evolution of how people can make mistakes and they do better in life later on. And that's how it's going to be. The turning point was my grandfather's birthday party. It was beautiful to see 20 of my family members sign their waivers. Just like,
oh, nice.
Just go, just do it. So yeah, my family is actually very excited now and they can't wait to watch it. My mom just said, just don't be one of them cussing girls throwing glasses. That's not how I raised you.
My family, I didn't really tell them much, to be honest. They know that I'm on the show, and I think that they just don't believe it. They're like,
they still don't believe
they're
it.
Just like, nah, they still don't. Can you like it's
crazy?
It'll be like, oh really? Like once like she is like if we're ever like on a
that's what you've been doing.
If we're ever on a billboard like in the Cross Bronx, that's when my mom will be like, "You're really on the show?" Like,
Oh,
like, yeah.
But there've been clips. There's evidence. I don't know.
Listen,
The proof is in
they
the
still
pudding.
don't believe
Show it
it.
to them.
They
So-
still don't believe it.
So when you show them the clips, like what do they say then? Like when they see the
The
clips.
thing
so
is
far?
that I don't honestly like the way my family is. I don't know. Like they're so backwards. Like I pulled up to my cousin's house one day in my car,
Right.
and she's like looking out the window, like, and I come out and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" She's like, "Oh, I didn't know that was your car." I'm like, "I've had this car for a year now." Then I've been posting it all over social media. And she's like, "Oh, I thought you was just modeling in front of that car or something."
What?
So like
Oh,
they just really like, I don't even know. I really don't know where their head is at.
Just things probably just fly over their head. Like, yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
probably, like you
And
said,
even-
it'll probably be a billboard.
Right.
Yeah.
The only way that they'll see it is a billboard because they're always driving around the Bronx. They're not gonna watch TV. Like they're just if I'm ever on the billboard, that's when they'll be like, "Oh my God, like you gotta have
Like
a
if
lot of
we
money
ain't
to put
seeing
your
no
face on
revenue
that."
and no ends, we ain't believing nothing.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Where the coins at? That's all they care about.
Nah, that's how it is sometimes. As soon as that happens, though, they'll be like, "Oh, so how can I be your assistant? Do you need help?"
Oh
That's
no, but
like-
that's the easy part though. That's when it's like, "Oh, y'all wasn't with me shooting in the gym. It's cool."
Right.
Yeah, y'all
Uh-huh.
didn't believe me when I showed you the vision. It's cool. Y'all can stay exactly where you at. That's why I like it. That's why I like it.
Knowing that some families like all down for it and others are like, "Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it." Like, even though you still have to record, were there moments where it's like there's difficult moments, whether it's like bad dates or something happens, like even like Kenya said, like, "Hey, we reconciled through stuff with family before we started airing." Like, are there moments like that come up during the show or happen while you were recording?
Yeah. Kenya, take it away.
I mean, not to give anything away, but yeah, something did happen to me that I was not prepared for. And I think all the ladies were like, I was blindsided by far. And it was kind of like the original storyline that I had for myself got drastically changed within the first week of filming.
Wow.
Like within the first week of us filming, this shoe fell that kind of just made me be like, really, am I the first one to have this happen on this show? I did not expect it to be me. Like it was a dating situation. I just didn't expect me to be that girl. I thought somebody else would have been, and I would have been like that good friend that would like nurse them back and
Oh, it was you.
say the good jokes and be like, that wouldn't have been me. But nope, it was me. It was me. It was me, and I just was like, this would be my luck that I'm the first. It was like the first week, wasn't it, Jesse? Literally,
It was.
Damn.
It happened very early.
Damn.
the first damn week. We just started filming, and then all this crap just came about, and I had to film a really not emotional scene. I'm not really much of an emotional girl.
You
but
didn't even cry, I think.
Huh?
Oh,
Did you
shit.
cry?
No. I didn't
Okay.
cry, but I was really pissed off.
Kenya's gangster. She's like, I'm not crying.
I wasn't crying, but I was really pissed off. And it would
Yeah.
be the scene that I filmed with my friends. That one scene I filmed with my best friends, and then I had to film a scene explaining it to my mother. And
God.
my mom is very supportive. She was very, very supportive, but it was just like one of those scenes where a mom just had to give her daughter some advice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
I think
gotta see
definitely
this.
there's a lot of moments where we have to like be vulnerable, like throughout the season, where things happen that we didn't plan for. You have maybe a crazy ex that's reaching out to you or something, or you had a date that didn't go well, and you have to be vulnerable and show that. Because I think at first, like, I don't want to say we were like nervous, but it was like awkward. Like there's cameras there, and like we can't like acknowledge the cameras, and we just have to like go about our
That's
day
cool.
and act normal.
Mm.
And
That's got to be hard.
and it was awkward at first, but then I think obviously towards the end we got very comfortable with like production and the crew, so it was kind of second nature to us. But I think definitely a lot of vulnerable moments you're going to see throughout the season.
Yeah, I had to sip my water at that X comment, Jesse, and you know why.
Let's not
know why
get into
too.
it, guys.
You should know why too. God, freaking
That's got to be something, because it's one thing to go through a bad date and like you have to deal with having a bad date just any other time, but when there's cameras, I couldn't imagine
Exactly.
one of my worst dates being recorded and I have to show it to the world. Like,
It's
what?
awkward. Yeah, like
I think I'd be pissed off, honestly, more than anything else, that I had to have the whole world see me go through this little thing. You know what I mean?
What?
But the thing that you have to keep playing in the back of your head is the fact that you're not the only one who went through this.
Right,
And
it's
that's
very relatable.
literally, I was very much so embarrassed with what happened with me, but at the same time, plenty of women went through this. Plenty of women went through this, and if this is the story I have to show, then you just show it and you show how you handled it. I just know I didn't want to be the girl that always, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should go back. But like, I didn't want to be that chick. I just wanted to be like strong, and show something different for other women,
Right.
So it's like, you now have to have that mindset on the show. Like however you portray somebody, if they see this, you might be somebody they look up to. So make sure the decision that you make is one that you will want other women to make, hopefully.
No, that makes sense.
Well, while y'all are recording, like now, I know that y'all ran into difficulties, like I guess while dating and whatnot. But I mean, like, were there any compromises you had to make, like dating, like to record the show and in general? Like, were there any hurdles, I should say, you had to get over in order to get the show done?
Oh, definitely.
plenty.
I don't really like to say in a relationship, but I was dating somebody. And he was at first he was supportive. And then once he saw that, I was like, away every weekend, like trying to record the show, he offered me the money that the show was offering me so that I wouldn't have to record. Like, and I'm like, bro, take your money and go, man. Like, why are you even, like, you're not supportive, like you faked the funk at first. He definitely didn't want me doing the show, especially because like his friends already knew about the show, which was like weird. His friends already knew about the show. They're like, oh, she's on that show? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And I was like, and he's like, that she's supposed to be single on that show, right? I'm like, I am single. Like,
Oh,
like,
man.
I
You
don't-
broke the news to him, like.
yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, that man was trying to pay to keep you at that point.
That's
Yeah.
kind of wild, actually. Like,
Yeah.
It's like, I thought we're together. You talking about you single, yo? How much is it gonna cost?
Yeah, Yeah, I feel like I definitely ran into like something similar. Well, he didn't offer to pay me out. I mean, that would have been nice. But I feel like I was briefly seeing somebody, and I feel like when you're working on a project like this, you never know people's intentions. And the guy, he only wanted to go on dates if it were filmed. And I'm like, do you not want to just go out on a date one-on-one? Does it have to be filmed? And he was like, yeah, but I have this, hoodie, t-shirt line I'm coming out with. Can I wear it on the show or whatever?
Wow.
And I'm like, you're trying to use me for promoting your t-shirt line? So I feel like I ran into things like that. Like people always just trying to take advantage of you for things like that and, just get them ahead in life. So yeah.
Schemers and
That was
scammers.
scary. That's scary because we're not even big yet.
Right.
Already.
Yeah,
I would say I did run into some hurdles. Like my family, yes, they eventually became supportive, but there was a point I never forget. I was like, I need to tell everybody something, and I wanted to get my immediate family together, which was my mom, my two brothers, my cousin happened to be there. She's immediate. My cousin happened to be there, and I remember I think they all thought I was going to tell them I was pregnant, but I was like. I'm doing this reality show, and me and my brothers we had an argument. Because their mindset is we grew up from the hood, and some things you're not trying to have out there. And you might be the star, but if you get big and they start Googling us, then next did you know this about Kenya's family? Did you know this? Did you know that? And they just wasn't trying to be part of it. And it was a hard argument. And my cousin and my mom was really like, y'all need to calm down. Because my cousin was like, if she did make it big enough a shade room, then shoot, do we care what people have to say? We're getting money. Do we care? So it was like family stuff. And also similar to Chrissy, I was dating somebody because we got our contracts in July of 2020. So I was dating somebody completely new then, and he was just not with it at all. And it came down to like the show versus me type of thing. And you're not about to elevate me. You could literally leave me tomorrow, and then I'll be passing up an opportunity that could have got me far. And I'm like, all right, so I guess I'm choosing the show. Right. So it's crazy because I thought him being in his line of work, he would want to be on the show with me. But his whole thing was, I'm not trying to be a music artist who getting big off of reality TV, because I guess there's a stigma with that. So that had to unfortunately end. And then I found my other guy, and yeah, we'll leave it at that.
The thing is, it's a new day and age too. Like, there's a lot of avenues for people to get on now. So it's like, I feel like it's kind of weird to try to ride. It's a little weird to try to ride your coattails. You know what I mean? Like as a dude, this is odd, but why wouldn't you be supportive? I guess is one thing that I have in my mind.
I guess with him, his thing was the stigma of reality TV and rappers. He's like, Cardi B is a once in a lifetime situation. Not many people who are on reality TV are big. And if they were big, then it's like they was big. So his thing is, I didn't want to come on a show and I'm Kenya's whatever. And then he's trying to build his career. It's like, oh yeah, you was on that reality show. Which I understood, but it's like, all right, I had my moment before yours. Support it.
Yeah.
Because like if it was the other way around, I would have to support you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I would be kicking it with Kenya, who was, oh yeah, you only big because you with this rapper.
No, that's a fact.
But they're not there.
I mean, that's kind of crazy though. Like, I don't know. Like it's because at the end of the day, like, if you end up being with the person, you still got it's going to overlap at some point. And that's the thing that, I mean, I guess I get it from not from a rapping standpoint, but it's like, come on, dude. Like,
come on, dude.
Yeah, it's like, come on, bro. Like, it's not
opportunity.
Yeah, it's like, yo, drop a tape. Drop a tape. They'll see it.
Be happy.
Yeah,
we'll be good.
You know what I mean?
Now you think Safari give a shit?
Hey, go ahead, Nikki. You know what I mean?
Sorry, used to be pop locking.
Go ahead, Nikki.
That man was her backup dancer for years, like
for years.
And hype man, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he do some beats for her?
He did some like the talking in some of the songs.
No, but I
I
could have sworn
remember
he
he did that.
produced some beats for her on the first. Listen, don't get me in line. I don't need Nicki thinking I love her.
I love her too.
Yeah, there's a whole conversation once you start.
But had he not did that, imagine he was like, Nicki, go ahead. I'm not going to support you. He wouldn't be on Love and Hip Hop right now and making his own little stride. It may not be Nicki money, but he's doing well for himself.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Like when I see things like that, it doesn't make much sense. So like now that y'all, like, I guess we're getting into the topic of dating different men and whatnot, like I guess would there be anything that would hold you back from dating a dude, like, you know, if he was from a different religion, you know, country, if his interest and I would say I guess his future didn't align, like would that be something that's like, hey, red flag, I guess?
Definitely. Definitely. I would say, like, for me, I was just talking to somebody, and you know, he kept on at first, like I feel like the first conversation I lay everything out, like pretty much, just so you know, I plan on moving to Dubai in like a year or less. So like keep that in mind when you're talking to me. Or I don't really feel like I want more kids. Keep that in mind when you're talking to me. And I feel like I lay that down like first conversations. So this guy keeps on mentioning that he wants more kids. And I'm like, yo, you know that I told you before I don't want more kids, right? Like, should we stop talking right now? Because I'm dead serious about that.
Mm.
Nah, this nigga can change you.
And he's, right.
No.
Yeah, he's like, I feel like you do want more kids. I told you I do.
Like, what?
Yo, what?
How you telling me how I feel about what I feel like? I don't. I feel like you do want more kids. I'm like, what? He's over here laughing.
Yo,
This is like a serious conversation that I had, and I'm like, you know what? I think that we should just. I mean, you know, conversation's cool, whatever, but I think we should cut this off right here. Like, we should just be friends. Like, lucky they didn't get to past that point, past the talking point. But it was just like, I don't want more kids, and I'm dead serious. So you're not believing what I'm saying. So it's cool. Like, we should just be friends.
I don't believe you, Chrissy. I think you do want more.
Right? I feel like I do. I feel like you do want. Like, no.
That sounds crazy.
How are you gonna tell me what I want? Like, you know what I mean?
You're not carrying the baby.
nerve.
I'm almost done with mine. I gotta start all over.
The nerve. I don't think those are like deal breakers for me though. I feel like, you know, if I'm dating someone and they're from like they practice a different religion or have, you know, different goals or whatever, that's not so much a deal breaker for me. I'm pretty open. But again, those are like conversations you have to have with that person you're dating. That way y'all are on the same page. Because let's say we are getting married and we practice different religions. How are we going to raise our kids? Like, what are we going to practice? Things like that. So I think those are just conversations you have to have. That way you and your partner, the person you're dating, are on the same page and don't like leave room for false hope or expectations.
Exactly.
No, it's a fact.
Yeah, I'm pretty much my dating. I'm not that I'm cut and dry, but there's a lot of fluff I don't need. So when it comes down to religions, other cultures, I actually am very open-minded to it. I have actually dated people from other religions and other cultures. And because my family, I like to refer to us Black people who are American, we're lost Black. So I really don't know my origins, you know, you could thank slavery for that. So I'm pretty much open to adapting into other cultures because not saying that my family, we love each other. We have our traditions, but we don't have a cultural influence. So it's like, if I was to meet a man who comes from that type of like Muslim or, you know, have African traditions and things like that, I would more likely adapt to those because if those are deeply rooted, who I look like changing, especially when I don't have a thing. You know, so I'm more open-minded when it comes to other cultures. But deal breakers for me is I just don't like liars. I don't like liars. I don't like men who are not financially stable. I can't stand that. I pay my own bills. And I mean, I'm starting to hate the term strong Black female because I would like a man to make me not want to be strong. Like I want my wrist to be broken. Like I want you to be the man to help, you know, whatever. But I can't stand a man without a plan. I need a man who I know could take care of things in the event of me not being able to take care of a thing. And like I said, I just don't like liars. I'm not someone who you can't bounce back from that with me. Because I could deal with a lot of things, but if I know in your heart you're a truthful person, then we could get through a lot. But if I think you have the capacity to lie to me, you think I'm dumb. And I can't deal with that. Like, that's how I think. You think if you lie to me, some part of you thought you were smarter than me. And if you think that, you will do it again. And I'm just not with it. I don't like that at all, especially when we're grown and we're adults. What am I going to do to you? What am I going to do to you? If you tell me that there's another girl there, it's not like I can cut your electricity off. All right, I'm mad for a little bit. Like, you don't gotta lie. I don't like
Why
that.
lie? Mm-hmm.
Like, why lie? I can't beat you.
Yo, yo, sometimes, yo, it's sick. It's sick how it works. Sometimes people are like, yo, I already lied. I gotta commit to it.
And it's sad because then you got to tell more lies, and that was more times you thought you were smarter than me. Like, when you lie to me, you don't. I feel like lying is something the equivalent of you, like, you really truly thought you could put a dunce cap on my head, and you thought that you could just you thought you belittled me. Because if you had respect for me and you knew my mind, you would know this couldn't fly. But you didn't have respect for me. You thought I was stupid, and you told me a lie. So now I just can't. I can't with you.
So I have a follow-up question to that, right? Because I mean, like, the things y'all brought up, like, are decent reasons why to stop talking to people, like thinking what you want, liars. So is there such a thing as being too picky? Or I would say for those turnoffs, like, is there any well, obviously for those there aren't, but like other turnoffs, I'll say, like, is there any leeway?
I don't like the term picky though. I feel like us women, especially now, we have to be more selective on the men that we choose to date because of things like this, like lying and you know, things that start to come up, and like you start to find things out along the way you're dating that person. But I feel like we have to be more selective now because y'all give us the reason, you know, to be selective, because you continue to prove us wrong as to why, you know, we can't continue or keep dating this person. So I like to use the word selective. Yeah.
That's fair.
But we're open-minded, I feel like. So it kind of cancels out.
I think also you should be selective when you're dating, because it's like, if you're like, let's say, you know, you're trying to find this one person, like, wouldn't you want this one person to fit like 90% of your needs, or maybe like 80 at least?
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean, the 80-20 rule is definitely a rule that's a good baseline, but sometimes there might be times in your relationships where maybe you're more percentage of a giver than the other. It's supposed to be like a flow chart, right? As long as we flowing, I'm okay. But if this is like the table which is constantly tilt, I just can't rock with that. And like, going back to Jesse's point, I don't feel like the term is picky. Now that to be honest, I was one time turned off because I dated a guy who never watched Martin, and I'm just like, all right, I've got time.
What?
I don't have time to explain Black culture to you. How dare you? I feel like you uncultured swine. How could you have never watched Martin and you're Black? I'm sorry, like, it kind of turned me off. So maybe right then and there, I was a little picky, because I mean, anybody who knows me know 90s sitcoms is my shit. So,
but you could make that a date idea, like sit with them and watch Martin.
And that happened. But yeah, there was a picky moments where, like, you know, oh, his shoes. Yeah, you know, sometimes girls could be a little bit picky, but selective. I feel like we shouldn't be punished for that, especially like I said, going back to earlier, my point, if I'm doing everything, I pay my own bills, I am successful, I have a career outside of me doing the shows and stuff like that. I have a really good career and things like that. To have a man that's my equal, I shouldn't have to feel like that's a overqualification, because if you get me, you get a good thing. You're not getting a girl with debt. You're not getting a girl with kids and baby daddy drama. You're not getting somebody from a broken family. My family gets together all the time with ease. So if I want these same things from my man, it's not like I'm not asking for something I can't give. So it's like, I could give you everything I'm asking for. So I don't feel like that's picky at all. It's picky if I couldn't.
I agree.
I agree.
I feel like we have to be selective. Like, we definitely do, because it's like to piggyback off of what Kenya says, like, I have created this lifestyle for myself, and if you can't upkeep that lifestyle or give me better, then, like, what's the point? What's the point? Because now I have to settle, and it's like, I don't want to settle. I don't want to compromise.
Like, match the energy or exceed it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Because then it's always going to be one person overworking.
Mhm.
And I mean, I remember I saw this thing on Facebook where it was like a girl that made 140K, married somebody with $40,000, and they're like, oh, that, but she loves him and all this and third. I'm like, that sounds real cute. It does. But if you was to get in a car accident and you can't work, what is this man going to do? How's this love going to pay this bill? 40K a year and you make 140K, I'm sure he's not going to be able to keep up with your mortgage. So that little lifestyle you built together is now down the drain. I don't want to go to bed sleeping like that. Like, oh, I have to, no. I want to know my man got this too. Because like pregnancy is a real thing. Child issues is a real thing. If I'm to give you kids and something was to go wrong and I can't work, I want to know that you can maintain this lifestyle that I done built so that my kid not struggle. So it's like,
or the lifestyle that you want as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
know exactly what it is that you want. Like for me, like I know I want to get married, and like I'm not about to talk to somebody that tells me, well, you know, like when you get married, like do you even know what it is that? Yes, I do know. Are you really trying to mansplain marriage to me right now? Like, yeah, that
I
like,
hate those men. I can't stand those men who are like, oh, I don't believe it. But then it's like the things you are just butthurt.
okay,
I
and if you don't believe,
like
that's
that,
Who
fine.
broke your heart? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
who
if you
broke
don't
your
believe
heart?
in that, that's fine. Don't try to tell me not to believe in it. Like,
Right. They try to like talk you down or hotep explain you to death or
Exactly.
whatever. Like, oh, especially those polygamous men.
do you know what
yeah,
marriage even means?
Oh
Like, yeah.
God.
those men who be like wanting to add you to their harem. Oh, we back in the kingdom day, you're not no king. How you want to maintain?
You're not.
Akon got six. All right, Akon's a millionaire. I would be another wife to Akon because I know he'll take care of my home,
Right.
that girl home.
A future and his 8 baby mamas, right?
Right.
They're well off. Mm-hmm.
I would definitely be Nick Cannon's baby mama number 10. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because Nick Cannon's a
Nick
good
Cannon.
dad.
He takes care of all of them. That's the thing.
Take care of all of them. If you are that
Yeah.
type of man and you want to sell me on polygamy, by all means, you go ahead. But if you are working a 9 to 5 like me, sir, and you know you want to lack, don't stop it. Stop it. You just want to sleep with us. I ain't got time.
Just casting a line out there. That's all it is.
Yeah, and there be some girls out there willing to bite, and I'd be like, y'all stupid as hell.
Yep. That's why half the time that's why they keep trying the same game. It's like, yo, it worked for her, and her.
Yo, I be thinking that. Like, yo, who fucking fell for that?
Yep.
They like somebody fell for that because he's still saying it. Like,
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right.
Being selective in terms of like your mate and so on and so forth. Like outside of like just like, because I think we have a firm understanding of like what to expect from the show so far, especially when it comes to following your path and especially with these dates and knowing how your viewpoints going into these dates now, right? Like, what are other things that you hope to gain from the show itself, though? Outside of everything that you disclosed so far, is there anything else that you hope to gain from the show?
I think we all could agree that we want to gain, more exposure in our personal and professional careers. And I think it's a good stepping stone. I think a show like this, it's a season 1 of a show. Season 1s of any shows are always
Sorry.
you okay?
No problem.
I think season 1s of any shows are, a little bit rocky. But for us, I think, we made it through. We worked on this project for almost a year. We got these contracts back in 2020. So to finally see it come out, it's not only rewarding, but I think it lets us know if we want to keep in this line of work or if we don't like it. For me, I did like the experience. It was a big learning experience for sure. And I liked it. I mean, I like to be around that type of energy around entertainment and TV and, great working with great cast members like these girls. Side note, the 5 of us didn't know each other before we started filming. We were all complete strangers.
Oh, really?
So you can see that like throughout the season, like us developing like our emotions, our friendships, and like create this sisterhood essentially. And we still have a group chat that we talk like almost every day on. So I think for me personally, it's something that I like and that I want to continue for sure.
Jesse was more of a stranger than the rest of us because we didn't even meet you in our initial Zoom. I met Christy and Ami and Janelle. me and you met because I needed a ride.
And I literally picked up Kenya somewhere to head to our shoot in Jersey. And I was like, I don't know what she looks like. I'm trying to look for somebody. And
Yeah, I did not know. I was like, I'm about to get in the car with one of the girls. My mom was like, all right, let me know if she's sassy.
and I was.
But in a fun way, Yeah. I was like piggybacking off what Jessie said. I will say definitely she said it in a more politically correct way, but obviously I want the fame, fortune. I want all the exposure. I would love to be I like this. I like the reality aspect of it. I wouldn't mind making this a long career. And I want this to also be something to give my show exposure. Like I really do have dreams and aspirations of my own. I am a girl who is very much so tomboyish too, and I just want my Rap City, The Basement, Meet, Breakfast Club show, Kicking It with Kenya, to be a big hit. And if that could help, if this show could help, then that would be great. And I just made some good friends in the process. Now we had our moments, so I don't want to make it seem like we was all hunky dory and stuff. We had our moments while developing this friendship. So yeah, you guys will see a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, I hope that this brings exposure and it leads to, other things. Like I would definitely like to be modeling for Hennessy. That's like definitely, I would love it.
That's
something like that.
We'll get you that billboard in the Cross Bronx, Chrissy. Don't worry.
That'd be dope.
I'm gonna hold the bottle like this.
never stop, never settle.
Yeah, I think a lot of us want to like have different avenues of income too. So I would like to do speaking engagements. I feel like I'm good at it, and I feel like I'm low key accredited enough to do some speaking engagements. I would really like this lifestyle to continue growing and to branch off to other things.
So now let me ask you this. Is there anything you think that the audience can learn from you guys or about you guys, while watching the show?
Oh, yeah.
I would say so. I would say so. Not to say a lot. I spoke about like Dominican culture and Blackness. So I feel like that's something that people can learn about, and Dominicans could like come to terms about if they ever watch the show.
Yeah,
I like that, Christy.
Go ahead, Jessie. I'm sorry.
No, I think the viewers might have a perception of us from like the little clips that they've seen. But I feel like once you sit and watch all these episodes, like, oh, like she's not that bad after all. Like for me, for instance, I was very, skeptical of filming without makeup on, right? So I'm like, at first I would always try to get my makeup done or whatever and look all like nice and put together. But then like towards the middle of the season, I'm like, okay, I'm tired. Like I have a 7 a.m. call time. I don't want to put on a full face of makeup. I don't want to wear, a wig or extensions. So throughout the season, you're going to see we get more comfortable filming. Like you're going to see me in my room with no makeup on, with my hair in a bun, with my weave on the floor. Like you're going to see all of that. So I think it's a good chance for like other viewers to relate to us, because that's what real women, that's how we're like. That's how, our rooms are. So I think it's a good chance to have women relate to us and see who we really are. And again, like be vulnerable throughout the season.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the relatability because, obviously you think that you always got to be prim and proper or a certain way on these shows. And I would say the turning point for us was when we came back to film in August. You could just tell we just was like, listen, by this time the cameras is like second skin. We don't really, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it's going to be. We are who we are. Even having conversations about finances. I think that's not something that's ever talked about on reality TV in the way of, can I afford this? Can I do that? Can I do this? No, like we're not rich. Like that's the thing. I'm not saying we're broke, but we're not rich, and it's real. And I think seeing how people could put themselves out there to talk about trying to make it, your fears in making it. I think there was a scene I did where I was talking about, the fear of putting myself out there on the gram. And also out of all of these ladies, I'm the one that's new to entertainment. I didn't do background work. I didn't do things like that. I don't have headshots. Like I'm not as prepared as the rest of them. And you see kind of some of that insecurity coming out that a lot of people don't talk about, which is the like button and being scared. And I don't get as many likes as Ami. I don't get as many likes as Jesse. I'm not that girl and how I'm trying to be. And, you know, I feel like who couldn't relate to that?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Who can't relate to that? Who can't relate to that fear or that insecurity or feeling like I have to find my way in these group of girls who do this work? I have to be a voice. I have to stand out, and, you know, the pressures of it. So I think it's 100% relatable. And just even navigating our friendships and our different conversations and going back to what Christy said about, we had a moment because this cast was chosen strategically. There is no white woman. It's Black and it's Hispanic. So we did have to have our little conversations among each other to address those differences and privileges and things like that, just not to give it away.
So it sounds like there's like a lot more of a conversation. A lot more conversation is had more than what looks from what meets the eye to some extent.
Definitely.
On top of that, the camera's following y'all 24/7. So I mean, if they can't see the real y'all after that, then I mean, you know.
And they're in your house.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
had cameras in Kenya's house. Kenya and Ami both had cameras in their house.
That was on
What?
24/7.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
cameras
saying.
in the house. So
I
there
think
was
they
probably
caught
some.
Ami like butt naked a few times, like sneaky links coming
She
over.
forgot the camera
like-
was there. She was like, I was butt ass naked. They can't. I don't think they're going to film you. That's voyeurism after that. Like, but I definitely had some conversations on the phone where I was like, oops. Oh man, I hope they don't air that.
See, it's like, I don't know, like that just sounds like a lot of, I don't know, I guess what did you call it? Invasiveness. You know what I mean? Essentially into your life. You know what I mean? Just like a fly on the wall.
It is. Luckily, it was only in one room. Like the living room was where they put the camera. You can't put it in your bedroom.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
I remember I had a date
They
over.
wanted to at first.
Did they
Oh,
want
word?
to?
in our
Yes, they did.
Mhm.
They
Oh,
wanted
see.
it all over the house.
They was not about to put it in my bedroom. I'm sorry.
They're not about to put it anywhere. I did not agree.
But I remember one time I had a date over and I had to text our executive producer like, hey, I have a date coming over, but he did not sign a waiver. So y'all gonna have to blur that face hard. Like, he did not sign- but I'm not gonna stop living my life now. Like I have a date coming over. I ain't about to be just sticking him in my room.
Right. That is what it
But
is. Y'all
aside
come
from the
capture
cameras, we always were mic'd up also. So even if we're like not on camera, the microphone was always on. So there was times where I ran to the bathroom and I was chatting up on the phone, or you could probably hear X, Y, and Z happening. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my mic was on. So I'm sure they're gonna air a lot of those clips also about like these like unseen footages, like just our voices in the background. So
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
this is
one of
gonna be
us said
entertaining.
something very fucked up on the
Yeah.
mic. Like, because you forget the mic was on. I'm not gonna say who, but said something pretty fucked up. That she doesn't know.
Oh shit.
Oh,
And
God.
I think even I one time was like, oh shit, I forgot this damn mic was on. I think one time I was having a conversation with my brother, he was like, fuck, I forgot your mic.
Jeez.
It's just crazy. But even even people around you get a certain level of comfort too. Because I'll never forget, my mom said something. I'm like, I am on. We are filmed. My family just completely, as nervous as they were, or as concerned as they were, all bets was off when we filmed my family scene. And I'm just like, all right, you know what? I didn't tell any of y'all to do this shit. So it is what it is.
Fuck it at this point.
It is what it is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like so it seems like, so even I got one question, like with everything, knowing that like, okay, there's a camera always there. Any conversation you're having with family, it's always being mic'd and recorded. Like, are
for the
there
most part.
and like you said, like there's certain things that you didn't want to come out or whatever, right? Or certain conversations you didn't want to have had. Like, were there moments where you're able to find like, hey, how can I get around this? Like, hey, this is an important conversation. Or is it just like,
If it's on camera, if they got it, it's theirs.
Yeah, none of us are as famous to be flexing.
We signed
power.
our lives away, like agreeing to
Yeah.
all of this. So
None of us
kind
are
of-
famous enough to flex. Like I feel like once you get to like a Nene, a Kyle Richards, Lisa
Right.
Vanderpump, then maybe you might be like, all right, can you not film that? Especially if you're the cash cow.
Right.
But
Right.
that's not us right now. And I don't think it ever will be with the crew we have, that we could say don't air this. It's like, what? Actually, no, that's not true. I feel like at some point they were kind of nice.
It depends.
They was
depends on
kinda
the
nice.
situation, I think if it's like a case by case and you want to pull the producer aside, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about this or airing this. I think for the most part, they'll listen to you. They'll have a chance to hear you out. But again, we haven't even seen all the episodes yet, so
Right.
it'll be.
We
new
haven't
for
seen
us
any
too to see.
episodes.
We haven't.
No.
It hasn't
Oh,
aired
none.
yet. We saw clips.
We've
never
seen
and
clips,
that's another
previews,
thing.
but
We're seeing it when y'all see it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, this is a roller.
I don't know
coaster.
what anybody has said in private conversations. I don't know what anybody really said in the confessionals. I don't know what was said when you forget the mic is on. So I now understand this process when the housewives, they'll watch it back and you're like, why are they so angry at the reunion? Because they just hearing this shit. Like, they're just hearing this. Like, really? That's what you had to say, you know? So, I mean, we all cool right now, but I don't know. I'm still saying Chrissy was a little hush-hush about that.
Oh,
confessional
right. I knew
part.
you was going to say something.
About that confessional part.
Okay.
All right.
What-
I
she's
was a little
saying that,
schmiz.
no,
I
you
was a little
see?
schmiz.
All right.
I was a
She
little
holding her
schmiz, so I
confessional
didn't.
hostage, but okay.
Chrissy been holding this confessional hostage.
Because I was a little schmiz. Maybe I don't remember everything I said.
I said that.
They
I said
did
Chrissy
give us
probably got
a
tipsy.
confessional.
I
We'll let
said
you
that's
guys
what
know the
Chrissy probably
secret.
got tipsy and don't remember.
They wanted us to chat. They gave us bottles of tequila.
If y'all want me to be
Oh.
honest, that's exactly what happened.
And they would, and yeah, she definitely provided liquor for us for talking in the confessional.
Definitely
but
did.
if you got slipped up, I took 2 sips. I was like, let me be mindful.
I just got hot with all the lights and the tequila. I just got hot. I was like, oh, makeup. I need to like blot. I just got so hot.
Yeah, but I will say there was some comment. So going back to what you said, there is a situation that kind of took a life of its own, and there was no way the producers was just not going to air it. There was just no way. It's even if you even when I tried to be like, no, you know, it was unavoidable. It just was like a thing that just, how can you not?
Because then TV gold, you know?
It was just,
Right.
Wow.
would you call it gold? I feel
TV
like
gold, like you gotta run with something like that.
gold
Yeah.
for the
If we're
viewers.
talking about
For
the same thing.
us, it was gold for the viewers. For us, it was kind of like, fuck.
Oh shit.
Really, this is really happening right now. Like I had, especially with me, one of my scenes, I kind of had like, and I think I called Jesse right after. This is my thing, like it's real, it's not scripted. And I never forget one of my scenes, I called Jesse right after because I was just fucking pissed. And I just was like, I can't believe. And I just remember calling my mom, like, Mom, I'm a little sorry. Because you told me not to curse, but I was cursing, and she was like, "What happened?" And my mom was in Vegas. What happened? What happened? And I'm telling her what happened, and she's just like, "Well,
It is what
I'm
it
like, why
is.
does everything need a season?
But you know what though? Like it's crazy to see that stuff play out though. It's just like seeing that play out in person, or I should say on the show, is going to be crazy because that's what they're looking for. Like those are the moments that they're striving to get from the beginning. You know what I mean? Before they even press the record button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
And I feel like it was a very important thing too. I feel like it has to be spoken about. You know, it's a conversation that is very relatable, and it needs to.
Uncomfortable, but had to be said.
It needed to happen.
I still don't feel
Yeah,
like
it's
it was
happened.
finished though. This is why,
It isn't.
it's not finished
To
though.
be continued.
To be
It is
continued.
to be continued. And you could kind of even tell, like, it's crazy to relive these moments that we haven't even really talked about it after we spoke about it in like bits, but we haven't even really talked about it after the cameras stopped. So it's like, even thinking about that moment I was in, I'm kind of feeling like, like, dang, that took a lot out of me thinking about that scene.
yeah. I'm quite sure the reunion special is going to be even that much better than.
Well, cross y'all fingers that we get one. Y'all better subscribe too.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta show support, right?
Yeah, y'all better subscribe, you know. And yeah, I just also feel like even with girlfriends, some of us had to have moments of like, that's not right. I think Jesse could not talk about that was kind of a Jesse thing. But we was like, we kind of had to have like a side conversation about Jesse. And I just like, you know, it was with you, Chrissy. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
So like you said before, like make sure that we subscribe and tune in. Like just for the audience listening, where exactly can they tune in and subscribe so they can see this? Because this sounds like something I can't wait to actually watch at this point. Because there's some insiders. There's some insiders here that it sounds like it's a must see. And knowing that you haven't seen it either, where can we actually find this at? Where can we find it at?
It's going to be a total of 6 episodes. It's going to premiere this Thursday, actually.
Nice.
January 13th. You can catch She's Single New York on Circuit TV. So subscribe. Just go to like circuittv.com and subscribe. New episodes every Thursday at 8 o'clock. And you can follow She's Single Magazine and then Circuit TV on Instagram.
It's Watch Circuit on
Circuit TV on Instagram.
We'll make sure to put it in the bio, in the comments, in the bio or whatever for this episode,
wherever people can see it.
Yeah. I think it really is a good show to watch. I will say we wouldn't be here if we didn't think that it was good. We didn't, and I think none of us left feeling like, why did I just do this? I mean, yes, we had our moments, but once again, they were relatable, and it's moments that I think anybody could take. And the thing is, even promoting it on my page, it's like, you guys love watching reality TV about a bunch of people you don't know. Like, watch something that you actually know a person in, and you are on their level. You know, it's more than relatable then. It's more of a connection then. Like, I love watching Real Housewives, but I also know I don't live like none of these goddamn women. And some problems I just can't relate. Like, you know, you guys are arguing while you're sitting in the south of France. It must be nice.
It's not much to complain about at that point.
Oh my God, the dishwasher broke. I have to wash dishes. It's like, must be nice. I don't have a maid.
Thanks.
Well, you know, where can we all follow y'all? You know, where can we follow the show? You know, what are the handles and socials of everybody involved?
Yeah, so my Instagram is at Jessie Peralta _, and then my title holder Instagram, I'm the reigning Miss Eco USA. I'll be going to Egypt in almost a month and a half to compete internationally. So that Instagram is at Miss Eco USA, and then the show is Watch Circuit TV, and then the magazine is Single Magazine, Mag USA, I think.
We'll make sure it's right.
But yeah, that's my
mine is such a complicated name, at Kicking It with Kenya. So it's like KICKN wit _ Kenya. Yeah, I know. So that's my IG is at Kicking It with Kenya. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Well, my YouTube channel that I share at louisptv.com. That's where you will watch my show, Kicking It with Kenya, and you'll watch my movie, The Deranged, on louisptv.com. So yeah, you can find me on those things. I also have a Facebook fan page, Kicking It with Kenya, that people can also go to, that I release other content on. And TikTok, Kicking It with Kenya. Everything's Kicking It with Kenya. Everything is Kicking It with Kenya, okay?
Perfect.
I'm on Instagram, as I got banned off TikTok. I don't know why.
Oh shit.
But I don't know why. But I'm on Instagram. It'll be Love Endlessly. It'll be LOV3 Endlessly.
Perfect. So like, I know we're like, because we're kind of heading out at this point, like kind of closing out. I did have one question with 2022. Yeah, 2022 is a year. With this being a new year, at this point, like what would you find to be like your theme song going into this year so far?
That's a good question.
Well, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Theme song.
If the two hit in my head right now is if I could fuse together like a birth child of Living Single and a Sex and the City theme song, like and it was something with the you head up, why keep your head up? That's why, like something like that. Because I feel like I just turned 30 in 2021, and they're not lying when they say it's like a light that goes off, that you either are going to be very secure in where you are or you're going to be insecure. And I have just never felt better. I just have never felt more vibrant, more sexy, more fulfilled. I've never felt more accomplished. So I just feel like I want to just step into that. And what better theme song or woman empowerment than living in single fused together with Sex in the City, just clicking my heels down hot Harlem.
Dope.
I can't think of a song per se, but I would say like, I guess like a term or a phrase to describe like this new year we're stepping into is applying pressure. I feel like in 2021, like we all did what we had to do. Like we have a lot of things we're proud of, but how can we enforce that? How can we like take the next step and really like dive into what we really want out of like these projects we're working on? So for me, it's more like applying pressure. How can I do more this year?
So why your song can't be Pressure by Ariana?
Right, but Ari.
Pressure.
No.
Yeah.
It's a cute song, but I think it means like a different thing though.
You're going for a foot on.
It means
You're
a
going
very
for a foot
different
on the
thing,
neck.
but
Yeah.
I would say the it's so old is a Bruno Mars song called Millionaire. Like I
Okay.
want to be
Okay.
a millionaire. So that
so
one,
freaking
Speaking into existence, right?
or
Nah.
I mean, why not?
Successful. Or
Why not?
Successful
We all
by
need
Trey
it.
I just
Songz.
want to be successful.
Oh, that was hard
Yeah.
too.
Oh, I used to love that song.
I used to love that
I-
song.
Man, I loved me some Trey Songz at one point. That was my baby.
Yeah,
did-
me too.
You know, he put out an album last year too, right?
What was the name?
I think it was like Coming Home or something like that.
I have
Trey Songz
it.
put out
I
an
have it.
album.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still makes music. Trey Songz is the last R&B artist, I would say,
Wow.
of that generation. After that, people don't make R&B music no more. Like
Mhm.
that. Like he
Yeah.
still gives me 90s R. Kelly, Joe. Are we allowed to say R. Kelly? R. Kelly, Jodeci. He still gives me the whoo yeah and all of that. Like he sings like that. That's why I
Yeah.
love Trey Songz.
Nah, Trey is definitely that guy. He's
He
definitely that
definitely
guy.
is.
Yeah, so I definitely would recommend listening to it. To me, it reminds me of what I wanted Ready to progress into one day.
Mhm.
So like it's more of a grown up version of Trey Songz, but it's still good. So I definitely would recommend that.
I could believe it.
What would be your
Oh,
theme
yeah.
songs?
For real, what would be y'all
Ooh.
theme songs for 2022?
I don't want to put
Yeah.
us on the spot.
Shit,
Come on, man.
shit.
That's
Oh,
my theme song for 2022. What do I want to do this year?
theme song.
I feel like I don't even know.
Shit.
Or like a quote or a phrase,
You know what it is? I know what I'm gonna
a
say.
movie that inspires you guys.
24 Hours to Live with Mace and all, because I'm trying
That's
to do
nice.
everything I can while I can do it. Like that's
Mhm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I ain't mad at that.
That's good.
It is.
Oof, damn, that's hard, man. Shit.
Who's your boy? Who do you like?
Never
listening
did you
to?
write this question down and not think of it for yourself.
Nah, this literally was a question I
Like,
literally.
listen, they don't usually flip it on us.
And that
like
was a good question.
Yeah,
Some Benny?
Or the
nah,
title of your book for this year. Something like
expensive.
that.
Honestly, I think it would be Meek Mill, Expensive Pain.
Okay, why?
Okay.
Yeah, like I think just with a new year, I think I had a lot of stuff. I just moved here last year, so it's like I'm going through a lot of different changes. And it's
Mhm.
a lot of different changes, a lot of reflecting and knowing like, okay, I'm moving, there's new steps in life. So it's kind of like you got to deal with the things that come with elevating in life sometimes, right? So it's
Yeah.
whether it's something you went through or things that you're going through or just you know how life is. Shit comes here and there. So that might right now I'll say that'd be the one, but it'll probably change tomorrow though.
Fair.
It is. That is big. I mean, life is ever changing.
Facts. Nah. Damn,
All
I
right.
should have thought about this one.
I
Well,
thought y'all was gonna come hard with these questions about be like, what y'all did, what you do.
nah, we got to watch the show to be able to really and I guess investigate y'all next time we see y'all. You know what I mean about the situations and whatever. So
Yeah.
That'll be
You know what I mean?
fun.
Yeah, because next time when we get a chance to talk to you, we can really have the real conversations of
exactly.
things that you are
Let's do
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Probably be like, so when you said this,
Yeah,
On
I'm
this
gonna have some
episode-
quotes.
Now don't quote me, but you can quote me.
We're gonna have all the details, all the timestamps of the episodes, everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Quotable.
Play the clip real quick, like
What about this?
Jessie has said some things in scenes. So I'm looking at her like, what the hell, guys? You.
Oh
Wow.
my.
Do we have anything else before we end, I guess, for the day?
No, I think for me, I think this is all. I think I had a great time speaking to you all. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually see the show, which actually comes out today, the 13th. So it'll be the day the show drop. But yeah, so I can't wait to actually tune into the show tonight. Listeners, I hope everybody gets a chance to like what you heard and have a chance to actually invest and listen to this, because I don't know, it sounds like we're going to be on for a roller coaster. Definitely hearing that the first week things kind of just popped off initially. So
That's if they show it. I'm really curious about the first episode, y'all. I'm so curious about what this is going to be. I'm curious and concerned.
I'm gonna be tuning in and seeing what's going on. I'm curious myself, so like
You
it's
guys gotta tune in.
I'm here for the ride. You know what I mean?
exactly. Well, before we head out of here, let the listeners know just so where they can follow us at as well. On Instagram, follow us on Instagram at the Highly Advised Podcast, Twitter Advised Highly, as well as if you want to check out the YouTube, it's the Highly Advised Podcast. My personal social is St. Kitch, st.kitch. And yeah, that's it. How about yourself, Nigel?
You can follow me at relaxingnog_Jackson pretty much everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit. You have been highly advised. We will see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us, y'all. Truly appreciate your time and effort.
Definitely. You've been
Thank you
highly
for having us.
advised.
Thank you. This was fun.
Definitely was.